Hi everyone, this is Joanna from Universal Love Light Wisdoms, Joanna's multidimensional ascension healing systems and explorations, and all that we are linked and connected with, and infinite and omnipresent. We are so excited. I've been having these wonderful downloads and activations. My team's assisting me in preparing for this next phase of multidimensional expression and expansion. So I wanted this to be an ascension offering of a short ascension teaching on allowing ourselves to step into the higher templates of who we are. Those are the timed, divinely timed activations and experiences within our soul blueprint, what we've come to express, explore, and experience of all that we are as an ever-growing and expanding omnipresence. And this occurs by the calling forward and the living as the harmonization of the higher self, those frequencies from above as below that we're harmonizing as we release what no longer serves, as we're peeling away the density of old beliefs, old attachments, conditions, and limitations of all that we've experienced in all realms, coming forward and living as this beautiful self and this beautiful soul. And as we mentioned this morning in our article, I processed an article this morning with connection with all of my teams, because as I write, I channel write, so the information from all the teams, from all of you that listen and tune in and connect of that vibratory experience, because we are Christed, and our vibratory fields of that Christic excitement and attunement all connect with one another, and your teams and your guides tune in as I'm writing, so that you're offered the codes and the frequencies that you desire for your own activations and for your own expansiveness. And so in that article, we were talking about how some of us of old souls are now stepping into this new fifth dimensional activation, if you will, of new soul potentiation, new soul expansiveness for how we express who we are as souls. Our gifts are being activated and turned on. Because of the attunements that I've come with, I can sense what's going on in the multidimensional bodies, even the brain activations, the pineal. I can feel when the clearing and the cleansing activation of the pineal, the galactic multidimensional censoring, which is the outer galactic ear, if you will, different than the ears that we have that are not known in our scientific world and communities, because it's light and vibrational frequencies of fields. And I can feel them when I'm being activated with the galactic downloads and packets of information that are processed and put into my field with my teams. And the DNA that's being activated, the multidimensional bodies and our fields that are being cleared and cleansed all the time. Because of my feeling of these fields and these sensings, I'm able to offer it and talk about it, so that those that are going through various stages of ascension can understand why they feel what they feel and what they experience. These higher vibrational experiences where the third eye, the throat chakra, and the crown are being cleansed and cleared, so that you can receive higher vibrational upgrades and downloads, receiving multidimensional information being received and sent in different ways. And I mentioned that in our article this morning. And also those of us that have gone through many, many karmic lessons, clearings, and blessings, so that we can, on behalf of our ancestors, we in and of each other are living through one another, meaning that my soul can show me how my ancestors are activating and assisting me to see in the environment, to call forward from the environment shamanic wisdoms, intelligence from Gaia, as the grids are being updated, as the collective is being upgraded through codes of light, through codes of song, the harmonic song that is source. And as I clear away the density within me, I'm able to hear, sense, and see and experience information that is different than it was, say, a week ago, because we're always expanding out and pressing out consciously in our consciousness. And that then affects all of our multidimensional fields. And it's done simultaneously, vice versa, because oftentimes our bodies are upgraded energetically before we actually perceive it in our reality. Not always, but that is the case oftentimes, because all things begin energetically first. And that's why the daily self-care and the clearing is so important, that we understand that we are the attunement of our light body vessel, our Christic vessel. It will be upgraded eventually if you choose not to do any of the daily self-care and any of the attunement and entanglement. However, part of the ascension process and the awakening process, the enlightenment process, is your own inner seeking, your own inner gathering, your own inner pressing out, because it's exciting to be you. And that's what my teams are offering me this week. The connection between all timelines that we're healing, the connection between all that we are becoming as our ancestors, as the shamans that we've been in other lifetimes. We're bringing forth these gifts and skills in this now moment so that we're connecting it and vibrating it as offerings vibrationally to the templates that are also being upgraded. Therefore, creating that higher version template of what you're walking upon, of what you experience. You become that vibration, then you experience that outer reality. Although it's all simultaneously, but you have to become the vibration first of the majesty you want to experience. And so all of these experiences, the energies I've been feeling going on in my crown, the clearing out of the emotional body, of the emotional wounds, the heart chakra being cleared and cleansed, because this heart chakra is the portal to all higher multidimensional activations and how we live as this multidimensional being of light. And so all of the inner vortices that are our chakras, the chakras in our feet, I can feel my feet spiraling right now, and the vortices in all chakras that we exist within are being cleared and cleansed and updated to release and let go of the filters that have kept us separate from the magical environment that we exist within, that we've always existed within. We're all one within it. That those essences and this harmonic song that we exist within, that we've often talked about, the omni field, the omnipresence, that allows us to communicate with one another as a collective, two individuals, as to what's required within the collective, that we're sown within our heart is that source frequency, the omnipresence frequency, the source of all that is. And that's why in our future we'll be harmonizing the spirit and the science together, because it's not separate, it's not void of one another, it's all one. One cannot understand the consciousness of the all, the omnipresence, without understanding spirit, without living and becoming spirit, and therefore allowing the perspectives and the awareness level that we hold about what we exist within, what exists within us, and all that we are as spirit, then becomes higher, expansive, miraculous, and magical, which is what we offered in our article this morning about these higher templates of who we are as we're releasing these filters of separation and limitation, these ideas and notions of who we are as this fluid and this malleable essence of spirit, really truly allow us to feel fluidic and malleable within these ever-moving songs of source, these beautiful harmonic experiences of love, because all of creation is a harmonic song. Our perspective and our awareness level allows us to perceive any one reality, because 7.5 billion people, we all experience reality at a different experience of vibrational frequency, because that's our level of awareness or consciousness. And so as more and more awaken, creating and adding to these vibrational, magical, mystical fields of omnipresence, the heart space and all that we are as multidimensional beings, living through the souls of all that we are, the shamans, the oracles, the seers, the magicians, and all the masters, the angelics, all that we come within, the fairies, the elementals, the gnomes, all of these energies that are being activated within our DNA and our fields, as well as all the information that are being offered to us through our galactic communities, we then begin to perceive the energetic frequencies and the vibration in this higher vibrational template field that the collective then co-creates together. And so those of us that have been on the path for a while, and the old souls that have come with many experiences to transcend, we've done so because it allows us those ever expansive skills and gifts from those ancestor collectives that we're healing timelines for and with. And that's why I said earlier, they and we are living through one another, because those timelines are all occurring now. We're all allowing ourselves to open up to the omnipresence of all that we are, our I am presence, which is that multi-dimensional, vast, universal, omnipresent self that we are. Every molecule, every particle of essence that can be seen and cannot be seen, within and without, as above, so below, we are activating the greater field of the omnipresence of Source Creator. And that comes through, again, those divinely timed soul activations to live as the soul, you allowing yourself in all moments that you so desire, it's always free will, to actively engage as this magical essence, this fluidic, malleable essence of who you're becoming. And I felt it as this well of love that is just at the center of the being, the I am presence. And it just becomes grander and bigger and bigger. This love bucket within is the soul, desiring itself to stretch out and pour out love. Therefore, your aura and all of your fields become less densified. They clear and they transmute the negative dense energies and memories, and the mental body is cleared and cleansed. The emotional body is cleared and cleansed. your chakras get cleared and cleansed, and therefore your aura begins a higher refinement and pressing out, if you will, and more auras will be expanding as above, so below in this beautiful sphere of light. The more light that you take on, the more excitement that you have to be you, the more that you explore the effervescence, vibrational, vibrant being that you are from this beautiful soul space, you allow yourself to then move within this beautiful, becoming omnipresent, crystalline template. It's a field of movement and song and harmonics that we've often talked about. But because it's so abstract from anything that we've ever experienced and known to be, it's requiring us that we become the vibration of magic. We become the vibration of the mystic. We become the vibration of the shaman, whatever it is that we are excited to explore, because each and every one of us, as I said earlier, will be stepping into these new contracts or new avenues, if you will, of our soul's template, because our soul wants to constantly explore and express and just branch out. And so because of all the lessons we've learned and the karmic energies that we've transmuted and transcended, we can now ever remain centered in this beautiful presence of higher self space, being of the world but not in it, and not allowing the vibrations of the transitioning world to carry us away and call us back and pull us back into these lower vibrational entanglements. And we say that just as an explanational paradigm, if you will. But to stand in the center point of malleable love and stand in the presence of being that peaceful warrior and that peaceful honoring and that self-empowerment of who you are. And that takes practice, practicing every day, practicing to stand in your pillar of light, to be that pillar of light, to emanate light regardless of what's going on around you, because many of us have come to be that order within chaos. So regardless of what's being seen and happening and occurring around you, you can be of the world but not in it. And that's allowing your vibration to raise, to be that pillar of light and to emanate this, but to also simultaneously start to co-create through the essence of all that you are as an omnipresence, and begin co-creating the fields of the all as the all. So as for an example, I'm sitting here right now and I'm being very present with the center of my being, but I'm absolutely feeling what's going on in the allness of all that I am. And my body is simultaneously clearing. And so that's the understanding that I have. I am in the world and not of it. I understand and I can feel the collective energies. I can feel what's going on with Gaia. My body is clearing. I can sense what's going on in the field of all these beings that are tuning in and wanting to play. And I can feel these magical energies of who I am at the higher frequency, because I'm harmonizing more and more frequencies of who I am, my I am presence. And I can see and feel my I am presence co-creating these higher vibrational fields that, as I become more enlivened through self-love and through self-exploration, through self-excitement, I'm becoming more and more attached in a harmonized, harmonic way, harmonizing with that I am presence. Because that I am presence is as source is as high as we can experience in physical form, and it becomes lighter and lighter and lighter as we do. That's because joy and happiness and bliss and self-excitement and self-honor and self-love are high vibrational energies. And as you do, your cells become lighter, your organs shift and change. And that's what I've been experiencing. As I wrote in my article this morning, there's many experiences that I've had since I was a child. And I would wake up in the morning with these strange, little marks and little scratches and things all over my body at different times and in different ways, of course. And very, very, soft abrasions, nothing that's dramatic or anything like that. It's never that dramatic when spirit is working with you and your teams are working with you to shift and transform the energies within you, especially if they've come from very dark and traumatic timelines that you're healing. And you wake up with these little scratches and these nicks on your body, or these little marks that are, very geometric, if you will, that you didn't have the night before. And oftentimes those are the shifts and the adjustments that we have in our higher astral frequencies and our dream time, light ship transmutations and healings. And my kids have woken up with these too, because they're being shifted and they're being out playing in their astral dreams at nighttime. And I woke up with one last week, a little scratch that was right here that I didn't have that night before. And I woke up with it and it took a couple of days to heal. And my teams were showing me that, and I knew this a long time ago because of my experience with the Pleiades at 5 on my heart chakra. And it left, a really big red scar that I never felt anything. It's never ever painful or anything. And I had it looked at by many dermatologists and so on that couldn't explain it. And so those are things that occur to us in our life so that we're given those downloads and those flashes or visions of remembrance through our awakening, because we're on a 24/7 evolutionary process. And oftentimes the friction between what was and the friction between where you want to go creates these tiny little abrasions, or these frequencies where they're working on you with very celestial instruments, and the fear that we're releasing, or the dissonance between the two vibrations of our truth and what we've experienced, cause a friction and alchemic visual experience, which will be a little abrasion or a little scratch, and sometimes scars that last our whole lifetimes. And my teams had told me when I was when I first awoken, they said that I will find out what this scar meant as I was awakening, and I did. I had a remembrance through a meditation one day of the Pleiadians visiting me when I was 5, and I remembered it very clearly. And that was the experience that I had of them adjusting my heart chakra, because my heart chakra was so open and it was so sensitive and it was vibrating at such a high level that it would have continued to create very dissonant dysfunction, between me being able to sense and receive and send energy and be that heightened energy being within an environment that was so in a mismatch, and it would have caused great emotional and mental trauma. So they adjusted it for me. They turned it down, if you will, that vibration of that heart chakra, because our chakras are vortices. And as I go through these clearings, I'm able to now sense and tune into each chakra and feel the vortice vibration, the oscillation of it. And as I step upon Gaia, I can feel it without even tuning in. My feet chakras automatically click in because I'm part of the collective story of vibration. So the more that my vibration accelerates and enhances, I add to the collective energy, and I'm very aware of it. So that lets me know that I'm constantly attuned and connected. And so I wanted to bring this forward just to let you know that we're entering into a time, those that have been on the path for quite some time, we've done so much clearing. We're now ready to kind of operate into this higher vibrational template of who we are. Our souls are offering out these beautiful resonant vibrations through our heart to call in and summon our soul tribe, to call in and summon our soulmates, so that those of us that have been, without partnership for a while, our souls are now ready to create those harmonic relationships at that vibrational level through which our consciousness will even then further expand through those loving communions that are at that similar vibrational level, which then because the heart portal is where we all do our co-creating multidimensionally. And that sharing of that sacred love, that sharing of that sacred life force allows us to then span out into greater co-creations of light, because our souls are gathered for sacred collective co-creations, and it's drawn at the highest soul level that we've often talked about. So in our offerings this week, we wanted to focus on these higher template vibrations. So we're going to be offering a video on calling in your galactic teams and councils, because in a lot of these activations that I've been working through, and my teams have been allowing me to see and access, and I've been putting off on the back burner because I've had so much clearing and so much healing to do. They're now saying it's time for you to now connect with the higher galactic councils, because we're helping you prepare for first contact. We're helping you also be the relayer and transmitter for others that are also preparing themselves, and to expect these multidimensional shifts in sleep time, in astral travel, and all of these higher vibrational alchemic transmutations of the multidimensional body. And I'm going back to what I was going to say earlier. They were offering me last night that as we're preparing in these higher dimensional templates, because I work every day with my cellular body, my DNA, and that's an active part of my daily self-care. And it's a part of the healing system that I've designed. And in doing so, they were mentioning to me that how I perceive my reality, obviously, and how I will perceive the form itself will change. And so how I perceive solid matter will change. And so they're preparing me for that. They're preparing me to know that my reality will be changing, and to be okay with that. Because through the awakening process, especially as we're stepping into these higher vibrational 5D windows, the physical way that we have, the filters that we've created that have made us feel safe, which were illusions, because we had timelines and experiences in lifetimes where being our fully spirited self were very traumatic because the collective energies around us were not as open to the higher consciousness omnipresence that we're now all being more made aware of and that more opening up to, because science has only been able to go so far because it's been from a perspective of that stark limitation, if you will, of separation of spirit and science. So in the harmonization, we can begin to expand all that we are, and it can actually be tested and proven as we've seen how stress affects the body, and stress is something, kind of unseen, really. We create it through the beliefs and the illusions that we've held. So how do we start pulling all that apart and start living more freely as the open source and the spirit that we are, surrendering completely into now moment, instead of those egoic presentations and filters that we've thought we've had to create through control and limitation and other timelines that we've remembered through the psyche that make us feel safer if we over control things and obsess and all the ways that we've created through ego. Therefore always limiting our experience, because ego is not evolutionary in that respect. The spirit is what evolutionizes your reality. Your soul, your higher self, consciousness, all that is source creator, evolutionizes the all that we are, and why Gaia was inspired in 1987 on the Ascension path through the many universal and galactic activations. And many of us, why we came here is for the Ascension. So, and so what we were going to offer this week is the galactic councils and the ones that we're connecting with on these teams that are assisting us all prepare for first contact, that face-to-face communion with our celestial and family teams, and our shamanic and our ancestors who we are living through and they are living through us. And bringing those gifts forward to begin that fluidic, malleable experience of living as this fluidic song of source, this majesty song of source, allowing us to step beyond, to be of the world and not in it, and view it from that pure higher self experience, and to live as this majesty of fluid movement of love, to express all that we are as the soul of all that we are, not the individual that we are, the soul and the blessing of all that we are as source creator, fluidically creating these templates of love and light and sound and tone, because it will shift everything that we experience. They were offering me that how we will experience reality, as they were showing me, will change and shift. For instance, you might be walking along a beautiful trail and you'll see a beautiful flower, and that flower will come to you with a song, and that's your communication with Gaia that's shifting and changing, because you've done this in past lives and your DNA had been activated a few days before, and now you're allowing yourself to integrate the wisdoms that were activated, sometimes and oftentimes not even knowing it, but the nature elements realign what's going on inside your body, and then you're able to access the information that was deposited in your field and activated within the DNA. You then hear that vibrational structure, because it's all codes, it's all harmonics, because your harmonic fields and your harmonic resonance, your harmonic attunement and readiness is now ready. So a flower, as we've said oftentimes in many of our writings and our radio shows, that everything within Gaia is a harmonic resonance, and the elementals and the Elohim, the creator gods, are the ones that care for, the fairies and the pixies and the gnomes are all caring for these harmonic resonances in the grids that affect the all, our codes that affect the all. Everything is now being harmonized to a higher frequency. Filters are being released, which means that the multidimensional allness that you are can sense and perceive and receive information that heretofore was hidden behind all these filters of limitation. And so that you'll be able to, if you look at a color, that color would have a song or a story connected with it, or codes of knowingness. It's not necessarily in the way that our senses have been defined and described. Again, the energies that we're coming from have limited us. So we will be adding to the stories of what was and creating new. We're rewriting all that we are as potentiation. That's the evolutionary process. The words that we used before will no longer be of service to us, because they don't hold the vibrational stories through which what is being offered. And so part of my excitement and my joy is to bring expansiveness and pressing out of the reality that we've existed within, what exists within us, and who we truly are as multidimensional dynamic beings, and begin to live in this beautiful excitement and self-love and self-joy, because this is how it's all activated. As source is, we are the micro-macro. Excitement and joy and expression, that exploration of who we are as spirit, we then become activated within this harmonic flow of these higher vibrational templates. not living within the worry and the anxiety and the fret, because that's a different vibrational plane of existence. And that's the reality to experience. As we said earlier, 7.5 billion people, 7.7 billion people will experience their reality uniquely and differently. There's an infinite number of earths available. So it's the resonance within that you hold, the excitement that you hold to explore you, your readiness to explore you as this dynamic being of majesty that's just flowing with source, and feeling into that unconditional trust and just surrender. And you'll see the attachments and the fears that come up to say, are you ready to step forward? Because that's been part of my process. Is every time I take a new step, there's the psyche wounds and the psyche healings that come forward for me to release and surrender and have transmuted. And oftentimes it takes a lot, because these go many, 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 many lifetimes. And not for just me, as again, I'm the collective and the ancestors and the lineage. But knowing that, you're allowing yourself that greater release to not work within those stories of, oh my gosh, this must be me. And you end up catalyzing yourself in a downward spiral, because none of this has ever been taught to us or told to us. And we're not understanding how very vast we are and expansive we are, and how powerful we are to transcend them, to transcend these behaviors and patterns that have kept us so limiting through the belief systems that have been engaged within our conditioning. It's really conditioning. So how can we condition ourselves to be vast and infinite, to be magical and mystical? And it's our free will and our choice every day to set the vibration of our core experience. What do I want to experience today? How do I want to explore me today as a soul? How do I want to talk with nature? How do I want to be with nature in new ways? How do I want to feel the vibration of Gaia beneath me? How do I want to have that sacred communion of who I am as a soul with all that is? Because I know that I've got Pleiadians, Sirians, Arcturians, they're all with me, feeding me information and assisting me in any way that I can. Through my free will, I'm asking, can you assist in adjusting my crown so that I can receive this information that I need to connect with Gaia in this way? And I understand that it's within my chakras, it's within my fields and my bodies, because I can feel it. And if I feel there's an experience there of fear, then I can feel that come forward from my heart. I can feel it. Or it's come forward from my field to say, this happened to you in another lifetime, or I'll get a flash of what happened in another lifetime. And I simply return to center. I know who I am. I walk with source. I'm grounded in my light. I choose this way. And I release this to be transmuted. And so that's becoming aware of the attunement and what you're going through, so that you don't have to spiral in the unfolding of what's occurring and get stuck there. Because that's what occurs too. You end up creating those timelines that are just filled with worry, because you're not understanding that. You're just releasing it, so let it go. You don't have to keep replaying those stories. You can choose to let it go. And choosing to let it go means I choose to let this go. I now surrender into a new story of me. And then you get to, with your imagination, your creativity, you get to choose a source, this new vibrational story. Because what they've been showing me over the past year is that reach far and beyond. You're only using this much of what your potentiation is as a multidimensional infinite being of fluid light. Because light is movable, it's malleable, it's love. It's that song of harmonic that is source creator living through you. You know, all of these beautiful dynamic energies that are being upgraded and manifested in an expansive way, in every way, so that we see and experience and feel into and sense and hear and live and move and, you know, become this fifth dimensional being that is not what it was in 3D. It's just simply not, you know. And this is why it takes that courage to stand within your light, to be in the world, not of it, and step outside and be that unique, dynamic, beautiful essence of who you are. Your ideas, your inventiveness, your charisma, your dynamic creative experiences, or what you receive in a vision or a dream, will be far outside what was. And there may be some that will challenge you and not believe you, or there might be some that will, will challenge every part of your excitement and positivity to live as you, and that's okay. That's part of the transmutational process. We're supposed to move fully and live happily and be our vibration of happiness and truth, so that we set that tone for all others if they so desire, but don't have to. But we're still co-creators. We're still here to create these light templates, to be this highest version of us. And it will look unlike any other experience that we've ever moved through, because this is new for every human on the planet. From other systems, yes, we've experienced the 5D, but it still was different in that planet than it is this planet in Gaia, because Gaia is constantly being upgraded, and why we come with the multidimensional galactic universal omnipresence energies that we do. There was experiences that I had those visions of knowing this, because I've always been clairsentience and that deep knowing, and as well as being clairaudient. of that deep knowing that I had that experience with the Multiverse Council. And was later told that I'm a part of an oversoul group that is sent to many different universes to assist in activating light and activating new programs where it's required and needed, in timelines like the Orion Wars, that we're being sent from other universes to activate the divine program of light, which is evolutionary. It must evolve, because if one universe de-evolves, it affects all other universes, because it's all threaded in that various threads of entanglement and enlightenment that we all move through, and that's evolution. This is why our planet was in such need, and it was in 1987, that's when the universe stepped in to create these programs of acceleration in every way, multidimensionally. And so it's really, really exciting. So that's where this whole video offering is about. Things are changing, we're shifting, we're being offered, if we so desire, it's always free will, to step into these beautiful new templates and versions of who we are. We get to choose through all that we've moved through to call in our soul tribe, to call in soulmates at that beautiful heart and soul level, and why these mysterious and beautiful connections of the higher selves and the soul groups and the angels and all of that are working within and without, to thread all of these beings together, us as a collective, so that we can begin co-creating in these magical, mystical ways. Because oftentimes, as many of the ancient texts have showed us, and we've been taught and told by masters, that the numbers in vibration affect the collective, potentiation. So we're requiring our teams, if you will, and our soul tribe to assist us in amplifying and activating and enhancing those of us that are creators to come forward and create. So it's really, really exciting. But it's done so at that beautiful soul. We don't have to necessarily know that or think it, because a lot will happen synchronistically and simultaneously, as divine will always is. It's the majesty and the mystery of God. But go with it. Go with the inspirations and the synchronicities you're shown. Listen to and tune into the beautiful niggles within you that are magical, because there's niggles that allow us to feel uncomfortable, and then there's niggles that allow us to feel excited. Those exciting niggles allow us to say, well, there's something here, I'm not quite sure what it is, but then you go within and you call in your teams to assist you in creating that portal to move forward. And oftentimes what they're just showing me to remind everyone is that because where we're moving into in these beautiful templates are not known or understood in the human experience. And this is when those fears come up, because there will be a part of your psyche that says, last time you stepped forward, there was trauma or drama or tragedy, etc. And so those are those releasing and then realigning and then exploring through excitement, joy, and self-love. And so as you explore through self-love, as you experience all that you are in the self-love and self-honor of who you are, loving of thyself, exploring thyself, and truly being excited about who you are every day. Wake up to get excited about you. Wake up and say, today I'm going to explore and experience. So just know that that as you do so, there will be parts of your experience that will be undefinable and will be indescribable, unimaginable, and have that be okay. Understand that those might come with those triggers of fear, because that's the psyche, again, that you're healing, along with the collective fear that's being healed at this point. Humanity's never been at this state of evolution. Even those that are unawake, even those that are not yet aware of the awakening process or who they are as spirit, they're at a subconscious level, they're sending out those soul callings for awakening. And because there's still filters and fears that they're not ready to awaken to, because humanity again is at this new precipice of opening into a new gateway. And it causes many at the subconscious level great fear, and why many are holding back on their awakening, especially with what we've gone through, and that's a part of the societal breakdown, the dismantling of what was. We have to pull away those veils of illusion, veils of control, veils of fear, to see who we have always been, which is pure source light. We're creating these beautiful physical bodies every morning we awaken. And so we can take all of these with great excitement and great joy and say, okay, let's really play. Come on, there's nature, there's wildlife, there's so much to entangle in our oneness. Healing the soul of all that we are through this collective oneness. Our unity within one another, our unity with our galactic celestial teams and families that I have known I've always been connected with, but never been able to, or felt that I had the safety and the security to to talk about it until I was awakened, 14 years ago. And then it was just like, whew, floodgates opened. And every time I go through a new level of experience, it's a whole new realm of potentiality. And I'm really, really excited, to prepare for, open contact, which I've been wishing for so many years. As soon as I awoke, I was just like so excited, you know, and there's various levels of clearing and healing that we all have to do to prepare for that. Because even though this now body says, yeah, I'm really excited, the closer that you get, and the how your teams prepare you brings up a fear that you had from a timeline where perhaps we were taken advantage of by a collective of celestials that did not have our highest and our best interest at heart. And that's not what we're experiencing right now. We are experiencing the celestial benevolence of divine intervention, of divine celestial alignment, of divine open contact. And again, based on where your vibration at is the frequency reality that you'll experience. And so why coming forward in your highest excitement and being the love that you are, forgiving and having the highest level of compassion, regardless of whatever is unfolding, and heal all of those wounds, and to heal the physical, mental, emotional, etheric bodies, allows you to experience this beautiful fluidic magic that's occurring in every moment. And then we're able to sense into these experiences that will be hard to put into words sometimes. There's been experiences that I've been, if I'm writing an article, so excited because of what I experienced in a dream or meditation. But when it came time for me to write it out, there was just no words. So it was just like, okay, well, how do I put this into words? And trying to wrap the multidimensionality of what we exist within, so that we can garner that excitement to say, yeah, right, that I remember that on a Pleiades or a Syrian experience, and I can bring that to earth here. I can awaken the grids. I can remember what I know about flowers and plants or tonics or herbs. And this is where we're moving into these higher templates of who we are, because it's our omnipresence, our I am presence. So exciting. So we hope that you've enjoyed. So look forward to our videos this week. We're going to do celestial and soulmate and soul tribe videos to call those in and to activate those within our DNA and our fields. And we're going to do a magical activation and a light language sound activation this week. So stay tuned, and we're so excited for you to be with us on this beautiful, exciting journey of who we are becoming, these magical energies of this beautiful magical wave that's moving through humanity. And take your time every day to do your daily self-care. Call forward the energies from your dreams, from your meditations, and allow yourself just to soften and be present, because that's when those remembrances come forward of your multidimensional activity and the enhancements that are going on every moment. And just send prayers and white light to all those that are struggling and suffering, allowing our oneness to be felt, all of the dramas that are going on within our world, to realign to a higher vibrational frequency of oneness. So allow yourself to always be present in the healing process of our collective, and send white light, and send rainbow white light with the healing masters and the rainbow masters of light, with your intentions just for love and healing for all, because we're all connected with it. And the more clearing that you do of all density and limitations, the beliefs about it, all that you hold yourself within, it affects the all, and it fans out to beautiful light to the all. So just know that too. Your healing and your self-love affects all in creation, and it softens the earth with a beautiful crystalline bedding. So thank you, dear lighted ones. We love you, and we'll sign off for now. Thank you.